Everything's gone to shit. Colette's hurt. We made a mess out of that house. Who knows what Lindsay's gonna say? And then she sends us on break. What are we gonna do? It's all a mess. And we have no idea what's going on. They're still one step ahead of us. I don't know what to do, but things have to change. So far, everything I've touched has been a mess. I need to clear my head. Maybe some time with my uncle will help.
All right. So, I'm assuming Nyx is the only one that's been staying at the safe house, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I
So,
mean, after that, like, apart from like that little
right.
3 day break or whatever.
So, Nyx, you wake
Mm-hmm.
up again in a big empty house, one that you have been sharing with everyone. Suddenly feels much larger and much emptier the last 2 weeks of you being the only one here. And the group message pings, and there's a message from Colette. This is the first time any of you, well, most of you, have heard from her since the night that you last saw her. The message pops up in the group text and says, "We should probably meet up at the house and catch up. Lindsey wants us to meet with her once we're all back together. I'll see you guys soon." This is the message that appears from Colette.
I respond immediately and be like, I'm here.
I'll respond and say, on my way.
Alejandro's very much says I'm 2 towns over. I'll be there shortly.
It doesn't take Colette long to arrive. She drives up and parks in the driveway and makes her way inside. Nyx, are you in your usual spot?
Yeah,
So she'll walk
crafting some
in.
shit.
Yeah, the usual.
The years.
She'll walk in and sort of glance down the hall and nod her head and go into the common room, but she doesn't come into the room to talk with you. She just sits on the couch in the common room, sort of looking through her phone. She's waiting for everybody to arrive.
As soon as she goes and sits down, Nyx is probably gonna get up and join her there. So it's been a while. I'm glad to see that you're okay and recovered.
Yeah, it has been. How you doing?
Um, it's been a weird week.
I saw the news, so well, Ashley saw the news, so but I can imagine it's a lot to process.
Yeah, it's pretty weird to see your death on television when you're not dead. So, yeah.
Yeah, thankfully my experience wasn't quite so public, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's
It's
pretty
gonna take some
strange.
time. It's okay. At least I don't need to worry too much about it anymore. I mean, I still need to be careful and smart about it, but
Of course. Yeah, it's strange. I think all of us, for the most part, have some experience with this, and most of our friends or family from our other life believe that we're dead or missing or something has happened to us. So we've all kind of experienced what you're going through. Like I said, I just don't think our experiences were quite as public as yours, but then again, we weren't really in the public eye, so.
yep. Isaiah needed to, pick me. Makes sense.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. It's been weird being here by myself. I don't think I've ever felt so lonely or isolated. I couldn't reach out to anybody. And, after Alejandro left and after Sparta left, I didn't really want to bother anybody.
She's sort of, you can see she's like thinking a little harder than she usually does in these situations. You also kind of pick up on just her demeanor and her tone and everything. She reminds you of the Colette you've met originally. Not the Colette that just was with you weeks before, chatting it up, being friendly. She seems calculated and cold, not like, that warm, friendly approach that she started to have with you. She sort of retreated back into how she was when you first met her. And the look on her face, she looks like she wants to say something that would be comforting and like console you, but she sort of just lets that thought fleet and doesn't respond and sort of just sits quietly and looks away after a few moments of kind of making eye contact with you, and she doesn't say anything in response.
Nyx is gonna just be like, she's gonna get up, and after waiting a few seconds, and she's gonna go back to the crafting room and being like, I'll come back whenever everybody is here.
She goes back to looking at her phone once you've left. I'm assuming Sparta would be the next to arrive because he was likely closer than Alejandro.
Sparta will walk through the front door. Is Colette still on the couch?
Yep. She's still just sitting there on her phone.
He won't look at her, but he'll say, Colette, how are you?
She'll look over her shoulder. Doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I was able to clear my head a bit.
That's good.
You mind if we talk?
Not at all.
Question.
Yeah.
Is Nyx here from the craft room?
Yeah, it's not that far away.
She's not doing anything noisy. She's just like, at this point, she's just like doing some detail work on like a dress that she.
It might be like a little low, but with your little bonus vampire ears, especially if you really wanted to listen, I mean, you have the ability to really listen.
I will.
But, you would be able to hear the low murmur conversation. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely gonna listen in, but
And
I'm
it's-
not gonna go there yet.
Right. Yeah. You're distanced
Sparta will-
far enough away to where, like, people probably wouldn't be concerned. Like, like, there's nobody
She's
here.
over there.
Yeah. Exactly.
And Sparta will sit down on the couch. and still not looking at her. Be like, about what happened. I really am sorry. I wasn't thinking. I was so focused on it, finding Nyx. It was wrong of me to leave you behind. And you got hurt because of me.
So you'll notice the same. She hasn't really spoken to you a whole lot, so not necessarily in the tone of her voice, but more so the demeanor, especially you, because you saw her when you met her with Ronaldo. And that's when she was really closed off. Like, she didn't even make eye contact with you guys. Like, she was just kind of like staring off into space until Alejandro called her out. And she was like, oh, you jealous? You want me to stare at you? So that same, like, just feeling and demeanor about her that you originally, like, when you first met her is there. She feels a lot more distant than just in the short amount of time that you guys have been together, that you guys have gotten obviously closer just naturally. And she takes a few moments, and then she looks at you and responds and says, I don't harbor any negative feelings. Things happen. There was a lot happening that night. You are inexperienced, and I can't necessarily blame you. You're not the one who shot me. So let's just learn from this situation and move forward.
I agree, but that's still no excuse for what I did. And I promise you it won't happen again. Do you remember much about what happened?
Not a whole lot. I remember running through the woods, tripping over something. I'm assuming a tree. Then turning on my flashlight. And then I was home. That was sort of all I really remember. Besides the pain, I think that's something you can't really forget.
Yeah, the pain is definitely something else. But I do feel like you should know everything that happened that night.
Okay.
After you got shot the first time, Alejandro was still fairly far behind me, and he turned around first to come to help you. And he noticed somebody was shooting at you, and he couldn't get to you. So he started shooting at the person. About that time, I had just gotten back to you guys, and you had been shot a second time because you were out in the open. I was able to get you behind a tree to dig out the fire bullets. And that's when Ashley showed up to take you away. After that, we just went on this wild chase through the forest and came across some strange darkness. And me and Alejandro walked into it, and Lindsey showed up to pull us out. They were able to clear it, and once again, I ran forward, leaving Alejandro behind. and I was able to find Nyx. She had had some sort of torture devices stabbed in her leg. And after that, things just kept going downhill from that. Lindsey told us to go to one of the houses, and we ended up SWAT teaming the house and kidnapping a woman and her child.
Her eyebrows raise and she's like looking at you like, fucking excuse me.
Thankfully, Lev showed up to clean up the mess. At that point, we were all out of sorts. None of us knew what to do. So by the time we got to the second house, one of us at least came to their senses and decided to just try knocking on the door.
That probably would have been what I did the first time.
And then after that is when Lindsey sent us on this hiatus to clear our heads.
Got it. Now it's making a little more sense. Wasn't sure why the break was needed. I thought it was a little strange. Lindsey isn't typically the type that worries about people's mental health, and she does like little quotation marks around mental health. She sort of just expects you to do the job that you're given and to do it well. So I was a little confused, but it sounds like everything kind of went to shit. So she probably was like, hey, get out of my hair for a couple of weeks because you're fucking everything up.
I agree. Things definitely didn't work out the way they should have.
You kidnapped someone?
We thought the house was filled with thin bloods, so we stormed in, and I literally jumped through the second story window.
You what? Never mind. I think the less I know, the better. So who was inside?
Just this lady and her kid. She knows about the thin bloods.
Kid?
She was apparently
You
dating
kidnapped
one.
a kid?
I mean, the cops had been called. Lev just said put them in the car.
Okay.
Apparently she's dating one of the thin bloods.
Wow. Well. Wow. That's it's quite an adventure I missed. Kind of glad I wasn't there for that though, because I don't want to be responsible for the decision making in regards to that.
Yeah. It definitely didn't go as planned, and it gave me a lot to think about.
Well, guess so did Lindsey like talk to you guys, like, or did she just literally relay a message that you were on vacation and we're not working?
She pretty much just relayed the message telling us to get the fuck out of town for a while.
Wow. See, I thought that I was the only one that got it that way because of like the condition I was in. I didn't realize. Okay. Well, should be interesting in a few hours when we go to see her, I guess. Should be good.
I feel like I should apologize to Lindsey too, because most of that was my mess.
You jumped through a window?
Alejandro
Why?
and Nyx, they can't jump high, so each took the front and back door, and there was a light on in the second story.
Just because you can jump high doesn't mean you should.
I know that now.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna work on it.
Okay. Seems like you made quite a few questionable decisions that night. And when she says that, her tone becomes really harsh. And the little banter you guys were having previously, she was being a little bit more playful and lighthearted in her comments. But when she makes that comment, you can hear in the tone of her voice, there's some judgment attached to it. Maybe even a little bit of resentment.
I understand. Like I said, there's no excuse for what I did. All I can do is say I'm sorry and do better from here on.
Yeah, let's hope.
Sparta's gonna get up and he'll walk upstairs and go take a shower.
Whoa. He's a changed man. All right. Unprompted shower.
Damn. Is that like Nyx's influence?
Okay, Sparta.
I mean, I'm happy about it. Like, that's such a Toreador role. Like, hey, clean yourself up. What the fuck? I need to, like, be around you all the time.
It's
Let me,
probably
like,
like,
cologne.
Well, Lindsey might kill me tonight, so I might as well smell good.
Smell good, exactly. Seriously. Nyx is gonna get out of the room and go outside on the porch, smoke a cigarette.
Okay. Nyx and her cigarettes.
Leave me alone. Just like, I want to weed, but I need somebody stoned. Can't smoke anymore. But cigarettes, still good. Not afraid to die anymore.
True.
Fuck lung cancer. Come at me, bro. Okay, so Alejandro, you can decide if you show up when she's out on the porch, but she'll be out there until she tells you she's not.
Yeah. Alejandro's slowly arriving and sees Nyx on the porch.
Hey.
What's up?
Welcome back.
Yeah. How you feeling?
Weird.
I saw I had to go and see it. Outside your record company, there was like a massive flower bed type shit. I actually took a picture of it. Want to see?
I mean, sure.
Here, check it out.
Let's...
Listen, you'll get used to it. It's fresh, I know, but you'll get used to it. I mean,
Yeah, when I saw your picture,
which one? The
the
one,
one that you sent by your tomb.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's when I started thinking about it, like in a serious manner.
I mean, the thing is, Nyx, you had to do it, but one thing I will tell you, just because the rest think you're dead doesn't mean that you can't protect your family or your friends. But you gotta remember one thing, you gotta do it from the shadows. Before all my colleagues passed away, I kept them protected any way I could. Until the natural happened and they, passed away. So you can still protect your family if you truly want to. But just remember to stay in the shadows when you do.
I will. That's what I did. I said my goodbyes just by observing them.
Mm-hmm.
No contact.
Yeah. That's pretty much what's gonna happen from now on if you want to protect them.
Yeah, I'm processing. But in
You'll
a
get used
weird
to it eventually.
sense, there's like a weight was lifted.
I mean, I did, since the first day we met, I was trying to push you to do it, to fake your death. And you might have thought it was harsh at the time, but the statue that you had, like, you were so much in the public eye that you wouldn't be left alone, and anyone could have recognized you at any point.
I know.
Now you are safer. Yeah, you still gonna wear the costume, but at least now with those news, people are gonna think you're just a look-alike,
I know.
which is good for us.
I know. You you were right, and even when you said it, I knew that that was going to happen. I just thought I could ride that way for a little longer, but then my family got involved in this whole fucking mess, and that's when it really hit me. And I remembered what you told me, and and again, then you sent that picture, and I was like, okay, it's now. I'm gonna have to take this break and rip that band-aid off and hopefully start a new chapter.
It's gonna be better for us as well, you know, because people could recognize you. Your wig could fall off. There's many possibilities that could happen, and if your wig fell off, and they wouldn't have known you, and then that would put us in danger. So with you being killed now, if your wig were to fall off, people would say, you know, it's a look-alike.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can still protect your family. Just do it from the shadows.
Yeah. I had actually, weirdly enough, I had written my will when my husband died of brain cancer, and he died very, very fast, and it was out of the blue. Um, and because of that, I felt the need to do it too. You never know, right? Human life is so easily taken away by accidents and exactly like in the TV, right? How I died, just a propane gas, done,
I
over.
mean, yeah,
So
it's like
in that sense, I already had something set up, if you know what I mean.
mhm. Sometimes you just gotta analyze the situation. Um, when when you first got embraced, and I started pushing for you to kill yourself, it was more than just me protecting what I am or what we are. It was more of also trying to look after you because as a cop, as a detective, I know that if they want something, they're gonna go after your loved ones.
And they did.
So I knew that was gonna happen eventually, especially since you were still alive. But what's done is done. We had to look forward. It's gonna be a little bit of an adjustment for you to do, but um, you get through it. If you need to talk to someone, just come and talk to me. You know, my first year, it was when I went to my tomb. It was still weird, but eventually, I said I could I could still protect the people I cared about. And the picture I sent, with the thumbs up, you'll probably get there at some point.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go inside and no worries. I'm gonna go inside and see what's up.
I'll come in with you. Sparta is already there.
Alright. What about Colette?
She's there.
You can see a small little smile as he hears that she is in there, coming from Alejandro. Good.
Yeah, and you can notice that Nyx is kind of like hesitant. But
Uh,
she follows you inside.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
Alright. So Alejandro opens the door and starts walking in.
Nyx follows.
Colette's still chilling on the couch, looking at her phone.
I think we're all here. Is Sparta still upstairs?
I guess, yeah. I don't know. He went upstairs.
About this time, Sparta comes down the stairs.
Um, Alejandro looks at Sparta and Nyx. You guys mind giving me a moment to talk to Colette?
Yeah. Come outside.
Sure. Sparta will follow Nyx outside.
Alejandro starts walking towards Colette and takes a seat. How you feeling?
Doing all right. How you feeling?
You know, feeling a little bit better. Feeling a little bit scared.
Scared?
Yeah.
Of?
Of losing a sister. Alejandro looks towards Colette. I always pride myself in working alone. But seeing you getting shot that night, while hearing and then seeing it, made me realize that I started caring about this coterie. I haven't cried for another person being down in such a long time. And that's when the realization hit that I do actually care about you guys. Especially you. Because as much as we've been going back and forth, you are still part of who I am, no matter what we try to do about it. I know you probably hate me, and aren't too happy, probably not too happy seeing me here, but I did a lot of soul searching while I was back home. And that's the one thing that Alejandro stops and looks down for a second. And that's what scares me. Because the biggest reason why I started working alone was everyone that I cared about would die right in front of my eyes. That's why I've been so distant. That's why I pushed everyone away.
Colette sort of looks at you for a moment and looks away, thinking about how she is going to respond. After a few moments, she says, well, like I told Sparta, what happened is what happened. And all we can really do is learn from the experience, allow it to make us better, and go from there.
Yeah, no.
And just like everyone else that has come to talk to Colette, and her response and her demeanor, everything, she reminds you of how she was the first day that you met her. Closed off, semi-annoyed, distant, and there's a little added touch in the tone of her voice because it's personal now, whereas before she didn't know you guys, so she was just annoyed that she had to be there. But she doesn't make any attempt to make you feel better or show any signs that she doesn't hold any resentment.
What was gonna happen with Lindsey now?
Well, Sparta told me about his little Kool-Aid man moment, so
Yeah.
that was a great choice. Well, I'll tell you this, I've worked for Lindsey for a long time. I am where I am because of Lindsey. And Lindsey, along with other leaders in this city, has shown this group a lot more grace than I have ever seen. Still not entirely sure why, but I don't think it's really my place to question. But starting to think that eventually that's gonna run dry, and decisions are gonna start catching up with us. Like I told Sparta, I'm kind of glad I got hurt that night and I wasn't there for that decision-making process. Because I don't really want to have to answer to it.
You shouldn't either.
But I guess, I don't know, we'll wait and see. The Lindsey I know doesn't give out too many chances. And if we look at the track record of this group, it seems like we've had quite a few chances given to us already. There's been quite a lot of leeway. So I'd be prepared for anything.
Yeah, I already talked to my people. Talk to my sire, talk to the person that trained me. I'm preparing him now, might not be coming back.
Well, I don't know if it'll necessarily be taken that far, but
Let's be realistic, Colette. I've been pissing off people in here left, right, and center.
indeed.
I mean, Sparta pushes buttons. I push pretty much all them cities buttons at this point.
Well, guess we should probably stop pushing buttons, shouldn't we?
I mean, depends whose buttons. I mean, I would love to push this Colts' buttons.
Yeah, fair point.
I do believe, I think me and Lindsey have, you know, I owe her some gratitude as well, because she saved my ass.
Yeah, Lindsey does a lot of cleaning up all the time, which is one reason why I will never disrespect her. Because when we fuck up, it's her job to unfuck the fuck up. And that's why I felt so passionately before when you questioned her or disrespected her in the subtle ways that you did, because she doesn't have to clean your mess up. She doesn't have to clean any of our messes up. She doesn't have to fake deaths, explain why bodies are missing because we decide to do something we shouldn't. She doesn't have to walk around town erasing the minds of the people that we decided to encounter. But she does, to protect herself, of course. But with that protection of herself also comes protection for us. And her tolerance is quite high, but I can respect her and the work that she does, because I don't think I would put up with the things that she has to put up with. So, to question her abilities, I mean, we see probably a fraction of what actually goes on and what she actually does
Mm-hmm.
for us and for the city, and for us to be able to enjoy whatever lives we decide to create here.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably catch up all together. Everyone seems
Yep.
to only want to talk to me. But we should probably have, maybe a group powwow. Get prepared for whatever might be happening next. We are supposed to go meet Lindsey. So, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
And while Alejandro was talking to Colette, I would have been talking to Nix.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll pause and we'll. This was happening simultaneously, but if you guys outside, I'm assuming you wouldn't have just been standing there in silence the entire time.
Yeah, no, probably
Let's play
not.
the
For
staring
like
game.
10 minutes, no. Like,
Yeah, no.
crickets, like, no.
Awkward, like, end of the date
like,
where you don't know what to say
like,
anymore. And you're like, okay, well, look at the time.
Yeah, it's beautiful out here today, isn't it? Yeah, very, very nice, breezy,
How about them Jets?
So yeah, we'll transition to outside with Sparta and Nyx.
She
Bartle.
goes a little bit further down the whatever patio. I imagine, like, for some reason, I imagine this like porch, like wraparound porch in the house. I don't know. I already have images of the house my own, so I'm like,
Sure.
there's a porch in front with
Yep,
like some seating
there is
to the
now.
side. So she goes towards the end, so she's not like close to the door. She doesn't necessarily. I mean, she already listened into conversations, so I think she's good for today. But yeah, she goes over there and sits like in one of the like outdoor chairs or whatever.
I'm picturing they have one of those swinging bench seats.
Yes, 100%. There is one. Yes.
Sparta will walk over and sit down next to her. And he'll look at her and say, I saw the news. Sorry I didn't call. How are you holding up?
Yeah, it's just weird. I have fluctuating emotions. I feel relief in a sense. I'm not going to have to worry about certain things that might have been detrimental for me and the group and the entire kindred society. But at the same time, everything I built for the past 30 years is gone. My family, my brother, my niece. I had a talk with Alejandro before, and he did bring it up. He said, no matter if we're dead to them, they're still
your
few
family.
things that I can do from afar. Like you said, from the shadows. And
It won't be easy, but they are still your family.
So I will accept that in exchange for their safety, hopefully. And I had arranged actually my entire funeral and will and everything when I told this to Alejandro earlier, before he came in, we chatted a little bit. But I had arranged already everything after my ex-husband died of brain cancer. I was ready to go abruptly. So I guess it kind of worked out in a very morbid and ironic way.
Being a kindred definitely isn't easy, but we all you can do is the best you can. And they are still your family, and there are things you can do for them. You just can't be there in person. And what about your niece? How's she doing?
I don't know. I know that she was in the hospital, but
Is she still
I
in critical condition?
off game.
Your niece?
No, because you told Sparta that she was in critical
Yeah,
condition.
yeah,
So
she was in the ICU, but
Yeah.
did she recover?
Yeah,
She's still in the
she's recovering. She's doing
she's still
yeah.
in the hospital,
Yeah,
but
she's still in the
doing
hospital, but she's every day
outside
getting
of
stronger and things like that.
better. Okay. She's out of critical condition, um, but she's still there. She's still in the hospital, but it looks like she's
well,
recovering.
I'm glad she's doing better.
Yeah, me too. She unfortunately was the one that I couldn't see, but maybe one day when things calm down.
You've got a long time to see her again, and I believe you will.
Mm.
Maybe not in the way you want, but you'll see her again.
Yeah.
And I wanted to apologize to you too for that night, because if it if things hadn't had gone down the way they had, we all would have gotten to you a lot quicker. And then my blood was running hot, and everything went downhill after that. You've tried to help me curb my impulsiveness, and all of that went out the window that night. But I am going to do better. I
It
just hope
was
Lindsey gives us another chance.
I uh, I wish I had a little bit more experience with these things. Sometimes I feel so useless um, with all this quote unquote power or whatever. I just feel like I'm very impatient. I don't do well with things that require time. Um, so just not feeling up to part is one of the things that drives me insane. But
I mean, you're still new, and in my opinion, you've been doing amazing. And I'm not much better. I'm only 2 years old, so all of this is still relatively new to me as well. I guess we're both still learning.
mm,
I just know enough to get myself into trouble.
it's fine. I think all of us can help each other. And I think after all these misadventures, we've created like our own little dysfunctional family. So,
Yeah, it took me some time to clear my head, a couple of ass whoopings, but I think I'm ready to do better. My cousin definitely drilled that into my head.
You went and spent some time with family, huh? With
I
your,
did.
I guess, kindred family.
Yeah, my uncle and my cousin. She is a hard ass for sure. But I think it did me good. It gave me some perspective. Um,
Well, I'm glad that you got some good time. You can tell that Eden is like somewhat melancholic, especially after you talk about spending time with family and being able to be around somebody. Um, like literally, she was alone for 2 weeks.
Sparta will
She
notice.
doesn't say it, but
He'll notice that she's out of sorts and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I know everything you've been through. Has been so different from our experiences. I forget sometimes that I'm definitely different than the rest of you. And I don't mean to rub it in your guys' faces, and because I do care about you guys. You have become family. And if it's something that you want, you have a family too with us. You're not alone anymore.
she takes it in. Doesn't necessarily answer. Um, there's a little bit of hurt still there. You can sense it. Um, but, you know, she'll put her hand on your shoulder and pet it, be like, I appreciate it.
Sparta will reach over and just give her a big old bear hug.
She'll definitely hug you back.
And then he'll say, we should probably get inside. I'm sure Lindsey isn't going to wait forever. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I'm not looking forward to this meeting.
I am a little scared as well. My last interaction with Lindsay, I'm pretty sure I aggroed her in some way. And I haven't really spoken to her since, so yeah, there's definitely a little bit of hesitation there, but something that we gotta do. So I guess let's knock on the door and see if they're ready.
Okay. Sparta will get up, walk to the front door, and kind of just pound on it.
You hear Colette from inside just say, yeah, come in.
And we'll walk in.
Okay. She sets that and like goes and finds a seat, gets comfortable.
Sparta's just standing up against the wall.
Okay. As everyone sort of comes in and Colette sits up a little and she's like, so how was everybody's break? I mean, I haven't really talked to everybody. What did everybody go and do?
I just left the city to go to a cabin and clear my head.
So, sorry. Yeah, Tuka's
Sorry.
snuggle
I
time is
couldn't
over.
for a second.
The feeling in the room is weird. It's strange because you guys are obviously you guys have been through a lot together as a group. You've experienced a lot of things in just a short amount of time. But you also haven't known each other that long. And this is really the first time any of you collectively have had the chance to sort of process all of the things that you guys have went through as a group. So the energy with just 2 weeks ago, waking up in the same house together and getting ready for the day and everybody coming down to the common room, it felt natural and normal, and now it feels strange, almost as if you guys are like meeting each other for the first time again. And there's like that awkward like energy in the air. So it's sort of strange feeling. It doesn't feel as normal as it was feeling before this break. And Colette is attempting to, by speaking up, she's sort of trying to, I guess, clear the air, or like everybody has come to Colette except for really, I mean, Nyx. They didn't talk about anything. Well, I guess she did kind of talk about heavy things and feeling alone and blah blah blah. So it's like everybody has sort of come to Colette with this like really heavy conversation. And she sort of wants to just clear the air and be like, okay, like, cool story that you guys are feeling these ways, but we have shit to do. And clearly things have already been fucked up a whole bunch. So let's like put our little feels away and carry on. So that's sort of what you can see like in her demeanor when she's like sat up to like address the group. She's sort of changed her demeanor a little than when she was having her one-on-one conversation. She's trying to kind of lighten up the conversation. What did everybody do? Like, did you enjoy your time away? Blah, blah, blah. So that's sort of how she's presenting herself at the moment.
Sparta will speak up and just say, I got some good training in.
Nice.
It was fun.
Who did you go and stay with?
My uncle and cousin Lindsey.
Oh, okay.
Watched some football. Just tussled around. Got my ass kicked a couple times.
Oh.
You tussle around with your cousin?
Wait, what kind of tussling are we talking about?
Are we talking like deep South Albuquerque, Oklahoma type tussling? Or, I mean,
No.
to be fair, you did see a pair of tits when we kind of.
Wait, there were tits involved?
Thing.
She had a towel on. It wasn't my fault that she just raised her hand and let the towel fall.
She was nude? Oh my god. This just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, Eden is very uncomfortable.
That's besides the point. No, we just sparred and fought, and she's just a hard ass.
Sounds like fun.
What about you guys?
Well, I was stuck in a house with Ashley for a better part of the 2 weeks, so
Must have been enjoyable.
yeah.
Caught up with the latest fashion now?
I dodged that bullet. I was almost forced to have an entire makeover yet again, but
Oh boy.
thankfully, she got distracted. She's easily distracted.
Makes sense.
I mean, I love her, but yeah,
She can be intense, that's for sure.
she's a lot. And Sugar was still around for a few days, and I was stuck in a bed recovering, and yeah. Their house is big, but it's not big enough for those two in the same house. That's for damn sure.
Definitely sounds like you had your hands full.
Yeah. Thank goodness for noise canceling headphones. Great invention.
True. Very great invention.
I do appreciate the person that created those.
Yeah, nothing interesting here. I made some clothes. I have been writing some music, and I practiced my blades. I started throwing in them now.
Oh.
Really?
So I am practicing aiming, yeah. I thought maybe having like some cool belt with like some little tiny like blades for me to just like, can you imagine?
Like
with my
throwing
super
stars.
Yes. Yes.
That
You
would
might
be
wanna
That
have
would
them
be
terrifying.
You might want to have them in an inner pocket so they're not visible to others.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
You'll have to show us how.
Yes. I'm excited. I've been
Let's
practicing.
not
I'm not
start shooting each other in the house again, though.
No, I've been practicing outside. I don't know if you guys noticed that weird mannequin that I kind of planted in the ground halfway, but yeah, that's
Oh,
mine.
I did not even see that.
Me neither.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to like mess up the gym, you know.
Makes sense.
So I've been practicing with my new friend because I was here pretty much by myself for 2 weeks. So yeah, nothing interesting, unfortunately. Apart from the fact that I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm a dead celebrity. I went with a good boom.
I saw that. Real?
Does she actually laugh?
Yeah, she actually
Okay.
laughs.
Colette's gonna be
She
like, well, I'm
actually
glad you can laugh about it.
I mean, I
It's
guess I should
progress.
start laughing about it, right? Because this
Was
is gonna
that
be the
your
reality.
idea?
I suggested maybe like, you know, I tripped and falled and like broke my neck or like drowned in the pool after hitting my head and whatever. Have a little like trampoline in my, you know. Well, anyway, but I guess, you know, that was probably a better idea. Actually makes sense because if the body was charred, then there's really no way to identifying it and stuff like that. So I thought it was a great idea. She did fantastic, and it's kind of, you know, it sounds like a big explosion. It's probably the way I would want to go, you know.
Well, way
Big
to go
sigh.
out with a bang.
Exactly.
It was a killer barbecue.
Wow.
Colette will laugh, like properly
Next is
laugh
gonna
at
laugh.
that.
Not. You can't forget. Obviously, you need someone with a movie voice right now. Just saying, directed by Michael Bay.
Well, yeah.
Well, I
it's
needed
funny.
that. Yeah, isolation is weird. I started talking to myself way too often.
I mean, at least you can't lose an argument.
You know, you could have
Oh, I lost many.
called
Don't worry.
Ashley. She would have been more than happy to entertain you.
I think I needed that time
That makes
because
sense.
I thought about it, about this whole thing after a few instances that happened so far, and I needed that time to mourn my own death. And I think the 2 full weeks of just me helped me maybe, I don't know, process it a little faster. If I was filling my time with other things, it would just be an escape. I would have just been escaping that.
That makes sense.
What about Alejandro? What did
I
he do?
mean, went back home to LS. Needed to. I guess you could say I needed to reconnect with myself. Went to a couple of places, as you guys saw.
I
Had
saw
to
those
take a picture on my tomb. Yeah, it's one of the things you kind of get used to after a while. That you're dead, technically, but you're not. Met up with my sire. Did had a little bit of a tussle up there, but other things going on in that city that is starting to scare me a little bit.
Wait, things happening in the city? Like what?
There's heavy talks about a revolution.
A revolution
Very
with
heavy
the
talks
camera.
about it. That's not Camarilla City, my man.
It's Anarch.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so wait,
The
I have a question before you keep going. What are the anarchs? Are they like
I think
Colette,
Alejandro would be better to
you've been living a
explain that.
little bit longer. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna take that basketball and pass it over to Scotty Colette. Or do you want to be Shaquille Colette? What you want to be?
Whatever you want to imagine in your head. Uh, so Anarchs, you know how our city is Camarilla run, and we have sort of a hierarchy and sort of a government. I guess you could relate it to real world terms. The Anarchs are sort of, I guess they would probably consider themselves revolutionaries that have turned away from the Camarilla and don't align themselves with the same traditions that the Camarilla do. So they do things differently. So I guess in a way, if you needed something to relate to, it's sort of like another branch of government, so to speak.
okay? Okay.
Just a little loosely based.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't have the same rules that we have in our city. They're not held to the same standards. Really, the only thing they ultimately care about is protecting the Masquerade. Otherwise,
About it.
mostly, they do as they please.
The seems like a fitting name. The anarchs.
Mm-hmm.
Is there other like different types of like vampire governments?
Yes, there are a few other, but not as active, I guess you could say.
Oh. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah.
It's alright. You're still a baby. Spend some
So
time
you
with my
said there's
trainer.
a revolution like within the city?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Sirius Prince, there's a lot of talks about him being taken down.
Well, seems like the Prince takeover is spreading.
Like
You'd
it's
be
getting intense
surprised how
there.
you'd uh you'd be surprised how intense it can get. Like right now, we're dealing with the stuff here, but the princes normally in Anarch City they don't last long because a lot of the kindred wants more power.
I guess after many years of living, you don't have much to do you?
True.
A
And
lot
it
of greed
seems to be
comes into the picture.
Hmm.
Um,
This whole underworld is really not what I thought it would be.
it's not
I feel
hippie.
it's
It's not hippie Woodstock love and peace type shit. I can tell you that much immediately. So the fact that
I
you're
mean,
living in the Camarilla City, I think it's kind of better for the best for you, to be honest, because you can easily find yourself in a fight 1v5. Thankfully, I was close to my sire and my trainer. We we got jumped by a couple.
during your visit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
definitely sounds like a tough city.
mhm,
I'm assuming you won since you're here.
yeah.
Nah. No, I sent an android actually.
Let's
Beep bop, beep
state
bop.
the obvious here. She will left.
Um, Apart from that, just spend time with my sire, talk to him a little bit, spend time with my trainer. My trainer. Uh, Probably one of the nicest guys. I met him when I had been a kindred for a year, and he found me and he started training me. So did a little bit of training. Um, and yeah, took went to the went to a place that I would always go to just to think, just to clear my mind, which was the second picture I sent you guys. So do you?
Hmm. It's a very pretty view.
Yes, it was.
More than definitely.
But I'm glad everybody's back. And I know Lindsey wants to talk to us. I think it's time for us to
Mm-hmm.
face the music and go see her and accept whatever happens.
Yeah, I think I should probably say before we go. Um, Sounds like you guys had a pretty rough going the last time we were all together. Just be prepared for whatever's waiting. Like I told Alejandro, Lindsey has shown a lot of patience and grace with this group, but it doesn't mean that it will be that way forever. So,
I guess we'll just have to be smarter and better. Hopefully, work together better and prove her wrong. Prove her that everything that she has done for us so far was worth her time. Because honestly, I already died once. I don't want to die again.
We all died here once. Just saying. We're not
Exactly.
kindred just
So
because.
nobody here wants to die again, right?
Right.
No repeats.
Yeah, no repeats.
No part twos.
No.
And we owe Lindsey a lot,
Um,
so
Yeah.
I think it's time
Okay.
we started working together.
Yeah. Alejandro takes out his wallet and gets a note out. Looks at Colette. Oh, Colette, by the way. Passes her the note.
okay. Like it's like an actual
A written
piece
note.
of paper note. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Actual written note.
Okay,
And
she's
the
gonna
note.
look at it.
And the note says, "Good to see you're doing good for yourself. B." Alejandro stands up, grabs his jacket.
Wait, this
walks
note is
out.
addressed to her?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And the note said, "Good to
So
see that you're doing good."
she's gonna open it and read it, and as soon as she reads it, she's gonna crumple it up into a ball and stand up.
In that moment, Nyx is gonna stand up and be like, "Oh, Sparta, come here."
Sparta will walk over to Nick.
Colette,
what's
I'm
up?
scared.
Colette, I'm
she'll-
scared. Is that what you just said? Go ahead.
Come. Okay, so she
Well-
brings you over to her crafting room, and she'll go over a pile of stuff that is there, and like go through it and like take out a shirt. You know what shirt I'm talking about.
Oh boy.
But
Look at this.
it's going to be like a deeper forest green. Still with the sheen, like kind of like baggy and flowy, a sort of like thinner material. And she's like, "That's, here you go. You wanted a party
Oh my-
outfit?
I love it. Should I wear it?
No. This is like for things like when we go to, a party, or, we're hanging out casually, you can dress it down, you can dress it up.
Right. Yeah, I definitely don't want to mess this up.
You don't want to, I mean, you have a few shirts that I made you. You can maybe use those, and then like with time, I'll just maybe make you a few more.
Thank you so much. And he'll give her a big ol' hug.
Oh, she'll give a hug back. Okay, and then like obviously go back.
We'll walk back out.
Colette's gonna, after crumpling up the note that was passed to her and standing up, she's just gonna walk outside without any other words to say, and she's gonna hop into the driver's seat.
We'll follow her out and hop in the SUV.
Same.
Alrighty. Everybody's
Who's going
in
in the front?
Huh?
Who's going in front? Who's shotgunning?
No one wants to sit in the
Sparta
front with
jumps into the-
Colette.
Sparta jumps into the front seat.
Okay.
Everybody funnels into the car, and Colette is gonna pull out of the driveway and make her way to the jazz bar that Lindsey is always at. And I know we're a little bit early, but I think we'll just go ahead and take our first break there, and we'll pick up.
Yeah, it's been like an hour and 45 minutes.
We'll pick up
Yeah.
at the bar with Lindsey,
For an intense meeting.
where all of
Yeah,
you
no,
die.
it's
No, I'm
good-
just kidding.
It's a good, like bit to like stop at.
Yeah,
So.
it's a good stopping spot.